Imagine a world where the pulse of civilization simply stops. The great cities, once beacons of progress, suddenly found themselves silenced by a void. It started with a flicker, a momentary glitch. Then a wave of absolute darkness swallowed the horizon, plunging millions into a terrifying new reality. In the streets, confusion turned to panic. Communication lines severed. Navigation systems failed, and the glowing screens that connected us all went dead. The arteries of the world were suddenly clogged. Traffic lights vanished, turning bustling intersections into graveyards of metal and glass. Critical infrastructure began to crumble. Airports became dark islands, and the digital tickers of global finance froze in a state of permanent collapse. In hospitals, the hum of life-saving machinery was replaced by the frantic flickering of emergency lights, struggling to hold back the encroaching shadows. This wasn't just a local failure, it was a global blackout. Across every continent, the map of human connection was being systematically erased. The giants of the industrial age stood cold and silent. Power plants, once the heart of our world, were now just monuments to a vanished era. As the state lost its grip, new factions emerged from the dark. The Grid Wardens, a disciplined paramilitary force, seized control of the remaining resources. They promised security and order, but at a price. Every watt of energy became a currency of life and death, guarded by high-tech weaponry. But they were not alone. From the subterranean depths, the Shadow Syndicate operated in secret, waging a war of code and sabotage. To the Syndicate, energy wasn't a resource to be guarded, but a weapon to be unleashed. Their fingers danced over keys, rewriting the world's fate. The streets became a canvas for the war. Propaganda posters called for liberation, while the common people were left to freeze in the dark. Infiltration became the new norm. Small, specialized units moved through the shadows, targeting the critical nodes that still held a spark of power. Conflict was inevitable. In the dead of night, the silence was shattered by the staccato rhythm of gunfire over the control of a geothermal vent. A single cyber attack could trigger a catastrophe. Controlled explosions ripped through the remaining grid, intended to starve the enemy of their most precious asset. While the factions fought for dominance, the human toll mounted. In cold living rooms, families huddled together, their lives reduced to flickering candlelight. But even in the deepest despair, the human spirit refused to be extinguished. In hidden labs, the last true engineers worked to reclaim the light. Success. A core reactor hummed back to life, a single beam of artificial light cutting through the darkness like a sword of hope. The longest night in history was finally coming to an end. As the sun rose over a quiet world, the first streetlights began to hum. It was a fragile new beginning. The world had changed, and the scars of the energy wars would remain long after the power returned. On a control panel, a single green light blinked, a symbol of a world reborn, and a reminder of how easily it could all fade again.